Final fucking Goddamn. Okay. Whoop, whoop. Aiko. Okay. Okay. Alright. Finally. That was annoying. I have spent the past, honestly, might be more than half an hour just trying to get the friggin' thing to connect to the YouTube, the OBS to the YouTube, but then the Streamlabs keep getting in the way and basically kept wanting me to make an entirely new stream instead of me connecting to the stream that I had started, and the whole thing was a mess. And, but here we are. Finally. Aha! Woo! So I don't expect many people to come because it's like not my usual time for streaming. Although, can I even have a usual time for streaming when I am, you know, I haven't streamed for a long time, which is what this stream is about, as you can tell from the name. Don't worry, I'll be drawing stuff, just stuff I've been working on. But you know, I just like, you know what? Let's do a little stream. Let's go over some timelines. Everybody loves timelines. I'm just gonna wait a bit longer to see if anyone shows up. I sincerely doubt it. So you're probably wondering, boo, 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 boo. Boo Fits. Why did you decide to do this video, stream, whatever you want to call it, at 4 p.m. anyway? And I will tell you, okay? I will tell you. It's because, one, I picked today because I came up with the idea yesterday. And I did not want to procrastinate making this because I'm the type of person that if I procrastinate too long, it won't happen. Yes, this is foreshadowing. Yes, yes. Okay, so didn't want to procrastinate too long. Picked 4 p.m. because honestly, I have homework I need to do that's due tonight. That's also foreshadowing for something. But it's gonna be a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But I was, you know, I figured I should explain because I've been MIA from YouTube for a while, but I've been active on my other social media platforms, except the past few months I've kind of been in and out, and I've been kind of MIA this month, and I figured I should be open about what the fuck is going on with me? What the fuck? And so, okay, so I feel like, because we are on YouTube, and I have been off YouTube the longest, pull up, I should explain myself in that regard first. So I'm going to pull up and I'm going to make a little timeline of why I stopped streaming and all that good jazz. And then once I get it, don't worry. Again, there will be drawing in this stream. I just want to explain myself a little bit, okay? So, first things first. Why did I stop in the first place? Well, this summer, so like late May, honestly, because I was busy preparing to leave. So like late May to late August. Got back more in mid-August, but again, you know, I take some time to decompress. This is actually a good thing. Most of the things that happen to me are bad things, but this is actually a good thing. So this summer, I went back, and I might have mentioned this on my social media, but if you don't follow me on my social media, you know, what you doing? I can't draw. Can't draw is an art channel. I went back to sew, baby! Sew. And what I was doing there was I was doing an internship at a digital marketing company. And I stopped streaming because I didn't have my mic set up. Actually, I didn't really have much of a setup at all. I brought my small little portable old Wacom tablet and my laptop. And I really thought I was actually going to maybe, you know, at least put together some stuff that I could then edit into videos once I got back. That didn't happen, okay? That didn't happen. You want to know why? You want to know why? I was busy, bitch. This was me, okay? I'm just gonna sketch. You see this? This is me. This is me. Okay. Me. Do. Stuff to do. Things to do. I got work, right? I was actually doing my internship, which was most of what I was doing. And then I had, you know, exploring. Okay, I was busy enjoying Soul during my free time instead of talking to you people. I'm sorry. I know, that's some bad content creator stuff, but that was what I was doing. I was also just moping around a lot. I was kind of going through a bit of a depressive episode at the same time. Not gonna get into why, that's kind of personal, but, you know, life was chaotic. And also, you know, it was right before my last semester of university. Ding, ding, ding. Foreshadowing. And also, you know, some socializing, but that was complicated. That led to some moping, because I'm not good at making friends. You know that. Although I did actually meet some really great people during my. Don't take that as like thinking that I was being bullied or something, or else. No, I actually met some really great people during my internship, and I had a lot of fun. And that was the other thing. I was spending a lot of time hanging out with some cool people, which I don't feel bad about. I'm so sorry. I know, I should have been a shut-in, and I should have been making YouTube videos instead. But I was going and having a social life. So. But actually, yeah, mainly it was just me working. I was busy. I didn't even really make much personal art. I like started one piece, and I didn't finish it until like months after I got back. And after I got back, I wasn't doing so hot, honestly. I just I don't do well with international travel. So let's move on, because we've established. Okay, so we've established why I initially stopped. Mister, can you not... sorry, my cat is currently on my desk, and he likes to step on computers, so I'm, like, inching my computer away from him. Do not. Please. No! He's like literally like looking at me, lifting up his paw like he's about to say, no. Do not. Oh my gosh. Ah, don't knock over my... Okay, okay. That was a guest appearance from my cat, Mister, trying to give me a heart attack. Okay. Back to what I was... Okay, so... I was planning on coming back after I got back from Seoul. Okay, I promise. I was planning on coming back. I was even planning on making a video about, you know, my trip in Seoul and everything. And because good YouTuber content. That's some good content. Okay, I spent a lot of money to go there. I may as well get some content. But here's the problem. Alright. I got back August like 12th. It was the 12th or the 13th, I don't remember. Okay, I got back then. Okay. Get back to the country. Super jet lagged. Feeling sick because I always get sick after international travel. Okay, I'm not built. I love to travel. I'm not built for travel. It is what it is. So I was feeling like shit. And I was tired. And honestly, I was kind of bummed about having to go back to the States. Especially because, you know, the way of the world. And I was stressed out because I was about to start my last semester of college. Blah, 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 blah. And that gets me to the thing. Okay? My turnaround for when I was supposed to move in to my new dorm. Was it August? No, I think it was actually August 14th. I had less than a week, pretty much. Less than a week, pretty much. Was it the right... Look, I don't remember dates very well, but my point was I had less than a week between when I got back to the... And Mr. comes back at it again for round 2. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. No. Okay, so... Please don't knock over my monitor. That's very expensive. Anyway, so... Back to, I'm gonna move this water. I'm gonna move this coffee away from you. Away from you. No! Ah, God damn it! Okay, you didn't break anything. Please! Usually I close my door before I stream to prevent cat, incidents. However, I was gonna mention this later because I was trying to go in chronological order, but I recently got a new cat. And he is a needy little baby. And, he freaks out if there are closed doors, especially because my room is his safe space. So if he can't get in and out of my room as he pleases, he gets freaked out. So I've been keeping my door open a lot more often when I usually would close it. So my cats have been coming and going. And they think my desk is very neat. And my desk is where I keep all of my fragile, expensive items. Please! Okay. Yes, buddy. Yes, buddy. Go lay on the bed. Nappy time. Okay. Where was I? So I had less than a week to settle down into my new dorm for my last semester of university. That was not a very large turnaround. I mean, again, jet lag, sick, just all around exhausted. Oh no, not again. Oh my gosh. Okay, is this the Where Have I Been stream, or is this the Cats Takeover stream? Mister is just here. He's stomping on my laptop. He's stomping. He's a lot chubbier than this, but whatever. Boy's stomping. Meanwhile, my mic is here. This is where my mic is, by the way. Where my mic is. I am an artist. I am a professional. Can't you tell? This is where my mic is. Mic. Cat. Computer. Okay. But back to timeliney shit. Okay. So I had to unpack like 3 months worth of stuff from when I went to Korea. Repack my clothes for school. Find all of my, because I had spent the year before, due to the fact that I had done this. Okay, so this is a little bit of a rewind. So I had done a study abroad in Korea. Hello. I had done it during the spring semester of my junior year. And so I missed the period where a lot of people were signing up for apartments. And also I had spent a lot of money to do that study abroad. So I decided to stay home and save money and just commute to school. This did not go well for me because I was also sick as fuck, as you know, because I've mentioned it previously on streams. But it was having a negative impact on my academic performance. I used to be a really good student. That was before the chronic vomiting. But and the passing out on and all that. But dropping some lore. This is a very unorganized stream. I'm so sorry. This is supposed to explain things, and instead I think it's just confusing. So I get this dorm, right? And I'm like struggling to move in because I basically had to find where all of my apartment stuff I had shoved in boxes to try and get out of the way of my house, because my mom had this lovely little library in the back room we had where she kept her fishes. You can't walk in there anymore. It's filled with junk. It's filled with a junk from when I lived alone, because it's like one of those awkward things where it's like you spend a lot of money and you've cultivated some items from living alone. You don't want to get rid of the things because you plan to move out, hopefully in the not too distant future. But then it's also like, where the fuck do you put everything? You know? If you hear any meowing, that's Ovnik. That's my new cat. Please don't break anything. Oh my gosh. He's currently... Ovnik likes to stand up and grab things, and he was pawing at my collection of perfumes. I am under great stress. Anyway, so, back to the... Back to story time. Back to the story time, okay? I basically had less than a week to find my stuff, clean my stuff, pack my stuff after unpacking. Meanwhile, I need to stress again, I was jet lagged, but also I was fucking dying. Artistic. Okay, imagine you're seeing this. Yeah, whatever. This is my toilet. This is not the right perspective. Just imagine, okay? This is me. This is how I was those days. Bleh. Bleh. Chunks. Chonkity chunks of vomit, okay? That or just, like, passed out dead because I was, again, felt like shit, jet lagged, eepy, terminal eepiness, okay? wasn't going well for me. So I was focused on just getting basics moved in. And then I moved in most of the big stuff. And then I went home for like a weekend because it was my birthday. By the way, my birthday is like August 16th. And also, again, because I was ill. So, I mean, it wasn't the best birthday ever. But, you know, arguably it was not the worst. So I was doing that. Very stressed. Took me a while to bring in a lot of the big things because I was only able to get help moving in. Like the first day, during which I was not bringing in a lot of my valuable hard to move stuff because it couldn't fit in my car in one trip anyway, and also because I just did not have time, and because my brother was helping me and my brother didn't want to be there. Real story. Anyway, so thanks, brother. No! God! Mister, not again! The cats are fighting. And my room is the battleground. Okay. Anyway. Back to my story time! With no more interruptions from rude little kitties. Anyway. So. And I even posted on Twitter about it, I think, that I had gotten my setup all done, okay? My dad had gotten me for my birthday. Thanks, Dad. This brand new. Why am I having issues with my... There, okay. I was saying that I was about to disconnect and end the stream. Okay, so basically I got this brand new spanking messy monitor, right? Beautiful. Beautiful. Apps. Wallpaper. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, I got this brand spanking on the tiniest of desks, of course. On the tiniest desks, of course, because even though college students are expected to live their entire lives at their desks, basically, they always give us the tiniest ass desks. So it's like I have my mic. This is the mic. I know, beautiful. Kind of got this. No, it didn't even. Ah! Too big of an eraser! Ah! Okay, so I kind of had this up on a wooden riser because it didn't even have like the double layered desk. That's my desk at home. Okay. So I had like a little wooden riser for my monitor on which I kept papers. Got my... This is what my setup looked like. Okay, I got my keyboard and my mouse. My laptop awkwardly on the side. My mic over here. My tablet is here. I usually actually ended up putting my keyboard and stuff on the floor. And, also there was a fan, because this is also basically my, desk side table, and I live in Florida, and thus can't sleep without a fan because it's too fucking hot. Also, you know, phone. And this is also where I would eat my dinner and do my homework and everything. So this was the state of my desk. Okay. This actually... No, it did contribute to me not streaming, because I'm not gonna lie, these were not the best conditions. But the main is... Okay. So, I had a hard time setting up my monitor. It didn't come with a wire I needed. It was a process for me to get the wire that I needed. But eventually I did actually have a setup, and I was proud of myself. I had the setup. I was good to go. I was going to start streaming again. And I actually did do a couple of streams on Twitch, because I decided I wanted to experiment with Twitch as, like, kind of going back and forth, you know, as, like, my original plan was I would do, like, Wednesday's Twitch, Saturday's YouTube, and that was my plan. This was not the greatest dorm, okay? This was not the greatest dorm. This was worse than your average. Well, it was worse than all the previous dorm. Okay, so this was like a weird dorm, okay? So I was in this position, right, where I needed housing for only one semester because I was going to graduate after that fall semester. Most of the apartments I could find only offered a lease for the year. This included student apartments. Now, I know what you're saying. Bitch, just get the fucking apartment and then have someone take over your lease. And that would have been what I should have done. That's what I should have done if I were smart. But okay, when I went to Korea the first time, I went in spring. So I was in almost this exact same situation where I needed accommodation for only fall, right? But that was a shit show. Okay, let me first off, step one. Alright? Finding someone to take over the lease in the first place. Okay. I had to go on fucking Facebook for this shit. Okay? I don't like Facebook. I hated it. Awful. And I had to talk to strangers. Awful. Awful, awful. I had to message just so many people. Had to send out like a bunch of messages to strangers. And then, I had to keep talking to these strangers to see if they were a good fit. And then I had to have these strangers come to my apartment. Home sweet home. And of course, I was living with roommates. So, I had to also arrange this around my roommate's schedule. Because obviously they wanted to meet the person that they would be living with. And also because having a stranger in your home is uncomfortable. Especially if you're not there. So, it was a process. We had multiple people come on tour. I talked to even more people. It was not fun to find someone. And it was very stressful. And eventually, we did, however, one of my roommates went to a party and they met somebody who was looking for a place. And I was honestly running out of time to get somebody, so they got the apartment! Yay! Okay, so then we get on to step two. Step two. Actually getting the lease. Signing over the lease, okay? And this is where the problem started. Because, oh my fucking god. This fucking apartment building did not want to let me go. They did not want to let me go. No. Which was, frustrating. Okay, because, well, here's the thing. They said that they were willing to do it, okay? We asked, we did all the steps. She applied, I signed the forms. We did all of our stuff actually pretty quickly. Like, almost as soon as we were told to do it, right? But here's the motherfucking problem, right? I had a form that I needed to sign before they could sign over the lease, basically, to this other girl. And they said, oh, we'll get it to you by the end of the week. End of the week comes around. They don't get it to me. I ended up calling them. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll get it to you end of the week. Another week goes by. Nothing. I end up going there in person to drop off my keys, because at that point, I had, like, fully moved out. And I was like, hey, I haven't gotten this form signed yet. Like, I haven't even gotten the form yet. Could you please send it to me? And they're like, yeah. We'll totally get it. Another week goes by. Haven't gotten it. But at this point, I went on a trip to Universal with my friends as a going away little celebration. Because I was going to be leaving soon. This was very stressful. Well, no, I still had some... Okay, what it was I was going to be leaving to go on a trip with my then partner. And then I would be out of Orlando, and we probably wouldn't see each other for a while. But, here's the thing. Right? I was at Universal. I was enjoying my friend's company. We were having a good time. We were riding rides. You want to know what I finally got? Well, I was at Universal. I got the form in the middle of the day. And now, I only saw this because it came up on my phone. And now, I was not going to go and sign this form on my phone while I was at Universal, because that would be insane. So instead, I was like, oh, okay. So I went home, went to bed. First thing in the morning, open up my laptop, go sign it, send it. You know what they fucking told me? They told me that I had waited too long to sign the form, and that it was no longer valid, and I would have to start the process all over again, and then sign a new fucking form. These motherfuckers had me waiting for this form for like a month. Kept telling me, oh, soon. Oh, we'll get it to you soon. They then gave me less than a day. No communication about how long I had to sign it either, by the way. They just were like, you should have figured that out. I could have just not seen that email. The fact that I even saw that email at all was serendipity, okay? And I'm like, Motherfucker, you gave me less than a day to sign a form that it took you fucking a month to get to me. And you have the fucking gall to be like, well, now you're gonna have to start the paperwork over. And I'm like, bitch, you fix that form and I'll send it now. I'm not doing this shit. But anyway, my point is, after that experience, I did not want to sign over a lease. I didn't want to deal with that. I just wanted a lease that would be that would be 1 semester. I just needed 1 semester. And then you're like, okay, well, why didn't you just stay home? I should have. But again, as I mentioned, I was having a lot of health problems. And I live an hour away from my schools. And with parking and everything, I was basically commuting an hour and a half each way. And with my health issues, that wasn't really feasible for me. And so, like, when I was commuting, I ended up missing a lot of classes that I probably wouldn't have otherwise. Like, if I could just, get on a shuttle and get to class. Because there's a difference between healthy enough to sit for a class and healthy enough to drive. And there were definitely some times where I probably could have just sat and toughed it out for a class, but it was not safe for me to drive. And I didn't want to do that again. And also, I really needed a job. I hadn't been able to get a job when I was commuting because I just was spending so much time doing that. And I really needed money. So, I decided I was gonna apply for student housing. I was gonna go back to the dorms. I was like, it'll be fine. I can live with it. Except, my school uses a lottery system for the upperclassmen. And I lost that lottery. You know, I'm just gonna start working on drawing. But I lost the lottery system, okay? So, I couldn't go on any of the main campus dorms. However, my school has a downtown campus. And I actually had previous semester a lot of my classes on downtown campus anyway because I'm a communication major. So, I, stupid little bean that I was, at the time it seemed to make sense. I applied for downtown campus's housing. And theirs was run by a separate company. So it was like you paid rent to this company, but it was still student housing on campus, the downtown campus. So I decided to do that. And it would have a shuttle that would take me to the main campus. And I was like, okay, that works. I'll be able to get a job. I'll be able to focus on my studies. It'll be fine. It was not fine. This is all just to basically set up the fact that I was in a weird rental situation. And it was in downtown Orlando. And basically what happened, okay, this is all just talking around to get to the point where I'm actually, like, that actually matters, which is essentially that, it was too fucking loud to stream. I tried streaming. One, I had roommates that were just kind of loud in general at that place. I actually had some nights where I couldn't even fall asleep until, like, after 1 a.m. because they were so loud. And then, even if my roommates weren't loud, the people next to us, there was some guy who was constantly blasting music and, like, getting into fights and whatever. So that also was that. And also just, the walls were thin. As you could guess from what was happening, the walls were thin. And so, basically, every single fucking argument that happened on our floor, because we were right near the common area. My apartment was right near the common area, with, like, the kitchen and by the elevator. Whenever there was a fight, I could fucking hear it. And I don't know what was up with the people on that campus, but there were fights. Well, I say that like there were, like, fights, but, like, people were loud. Okay? There were people, like, getting into arguments, screaming at each other. There was also people that were actually having a good time, but being annoying about it. You know, basically, it was a very, very, very loud place. And it was not conducive to streaming because I was having people I barely knew, shouting some very personal information that was getting way too loud. And it was coming up on stream, and I just couldn't deal with it. So I kind of just gave up. I gave up because it was just not a good environment for streaming. But then I moved back home. I finally graduated. Oh my gosh! We're finally almost getting to, like, the actual, like, modern day point of this timeline. I know. Insane. Crazy. And we're also getting into why I've kind of been on hiatus a little bit recently. Okay, so I graduated. University, bitch! Fucking free. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure if I had stayed at the university one more semester, it would have killed me. I was, like, literally at the point. Did you know that you can have, like, such bad anxiety that it actually literally causes you to have hallucinations? Because I was at that point. I was literally suffering auditory hallucinations. I had a morning where I straight up thought I didn't think. I heard my coffee pot you know, like the normal grumbling sounds? My brain was going, your coffee pot is threatening to kill you. You just can't understand the words. Because my brain was like, I woke up that morning shaking. I was so stressed out that my brain, hearing the normal gurgling of a coffee pot, just was like, clearly this is someone threatening you, you just can't understand it. And let me tell you, there is like a weird sensation about knowing logically that what you're hearing isn't true. Like, it couldn't be true. Like, obviously, coffee pots don't threaten to kill you in parcel tongue or whatever. I thought my brain was like, going over. But it didn't stop the hallucination. So it was like this weird thing of me trying to, like, drown it out. Well, also at the same time, like, freaking out because I was like, holy shit, I am literally at the point where my mental health is so bad. I'm hearing my coffee pot whisper threats into my ear. That's not normal. That's not healthy. Again, I was under a lot of stress. My health problems got really, really bad that last semester. Honestly, it's a miracle I fucking graduated, because there were some points where I really thought I was going to fail some of the classes where I was required for me to graduate. Because I was so sick and I kept missing classes. Which, yeah, defeats the entire reason why I even got a fucking dorm that, like, on one of the campuses to begin with. But, you know, best laid plans or whatever. So, what happened after that, right? Because then I was home. Yay! Home sweet home. I had freedom to stream, and in fact nothing to do because I was unemployed. And I am unemployed still. And that gets into what has been going on in my life lately. And more importantly, I'm trying to find the ref for this picture. And more importantly, why I've been off of Twitter and why I've been taking so long with those requests, one of which I'm working on from when I did, like, the 50 followers on Twitter thing. So, basically, okay. I was not stupid, okay? I knew that I was supposed to start looking for jobs early, and I did, okay? As soon as I got back from Korea and, like, got settled into my apartment, I was putting out job applications, okay? I was not one of those people that didn't even think about applying for jobs until I graduated, okay? I was having job interviews, okay? And I still graduated without a job. And it kind of sucked. It kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that I still don't have a job also kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. Because I was like, dang, okay, nobody. But, that actually gets into more complicated things. So, I did have a lot of free time. But first off, I was like, okay, well, I decided I wanted to try to get into vending. And, like, selling stuff on Etsy. Like, after, because I was like, you know what, while I wait and I apply, I might as well use this time to actually get jump started, like, on those things and get a lot of, like, the hard work out of the way so I'm set up and I can do them for, like, extra money and, like, you know, get established. And that was, like, in January and February, and that didn't go, that hasn't gone great. But that's a video of its own. That's a video of its own. But, you know, so I was busy doing that so I was busy, like, trying to build up inventory. So I was making stickers, I was making prints. I wasn't really focusing on making art. And any art I was focused on making was stuff that I could sell. Because I was just trying to basically, I had nothing, really, and I was trying to get enough to be a decent inventory for events. So I was focused on that. And then that didn't really pan out. I have a con in April that I'm going to, so I mean, it's not all lost. I need to update my Etsy though. But basically, I'm busy with that. And then it kind of got to the point where 1 month had gone by, you know. And I was doing that while sending out. And then another month came, you know. And it was about halfway through February. I'm starting to get, like, kind of freaked out. Because the economy in Florida isn't doing great, you know. So, like, having a job with income would be really, really nice, you know, instead of being I am very broke right now. I'm thank goodness I can live with my mom, because if I wouldn't have enough money for rent, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think in my personal account I even have enough for a month's rent at this point. But that's another thing. But it was starting, so I really doubled down and I was focusing on getting a job. So nothing else mattered. Art, no. I wasn't focusing on it. If I did any art, it was stuff that I could do really, really quickly, and it was honestly more therapy than anything. Because I did have some times where I was having a mental breakdown. I'm not gonna lie. But but what had happened, right, was okay, so throughout this whole process, including back before I graduated, I kept getting interviews with these very sketchy marketing firms, and they were all pretty much the same. They advertised themselves as, like, marketing coordinators or specialists, right? And so I was thinking I was going to be, like, doing the stuff I went to school for, you know, like writing reports on user, you know, ad performance, user behavior, or, like, managing social media. Like, that's, you know, the stuff I went to school and had experience doing. But instead, okay, I'm pretty sure these were all part of the Pyramid Scheme. I'm not even gonna. So they all were like, oh, we want someone who can be raised to, like, a manager position within, like, 3 to 6 months. Red flag number 1. And then they were like, and we're looking for someone who can open up a new office within a year. And they're like, you can do it wherever you want. No market research or anything. Second red flag. And I'm like, okay, this is pyramid scheme. And also, all of them, it was basically in-person sales. Some of them were working in nonprofit, but, you know, and they also all wanted ridiculous hours. Basically, they wanted, like, you to come in, like, 8:30, and they wanted you to stay at least till after 6:30, and they wanted you to work Monday through Saturday. So, like, 10 hours, 6 days a week, right? And I was like, I am not dumb. I am not stupid. This sounds like a fucking scam. And so I basically wouldn't even bother with those people after that point, right? But I was getting desperate. And most of the businesses I was finding that had entry-level jobs all had the same exact pitch, that the one I just went over. And it kind of got to the point, right, where I was like, am I the crazy one? Am I the crazy one for thinking that this sounds like a scam and seems really, really unethical and all that? Because it's like, if all of these marketing firms, and I applied for ones in multiple different states, and they all had the same thing going on. So I think this is a big pyramid scheme. But, like, if I'm applying to agencies in Denver, in New York, in Orlando, blah, 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 blah. And they're all saying the same thing. Is this just the industry standard? Am I the crazy person? You know, like, I was starting to doubt myself. Especially because, like, people were, you know, were like, oh, you're, you know, you should be a little more humble. You know, your first job is gonna suck. You should lower your standards because you need to find a job. So I eventually broke down. And I accepted a job at one of these companies. Because honestly, I was tired. I was tired of being unemployed. And I was like, you know what? You know what? Fuck it. At least it's something to say I'm employed now. It's some money, and I can have it on my resume so I can find something better, you know? So I go in my little suit. And I go and I get this fucking job. And I'm not excited about it because, you know, because I'm like, this is defo a scam. But little sad me in my little suit. Alright. But then I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'll suck it up. I'll do it. I'll get money. These motherfuckers. Okay, so they hand me the script they want me to use. And, oh my god, even looking at it, I'm like, this is terrible. Like, no one in this company actually knows how to do sales properly. But, it was for a company where their thing was they replace windshields. And it's not the famous one that you think of. It's a different one. But, I guess they use some loophole in Florida law where you are actually entitled to get a free windshield replacement if your windshield is damaged in Florida because it's considered a safety hazard to have a damaged windshield on the road. And so basically, this company specialized, they only did those free windshield replacements that were like paid for by the state to your insurance company, right? And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. First things first, I get this script and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this looks like a door-to-door sales pitch. I hate door-to-door sales pitch. I think it should be illegal. So, again, red flag number 1. Door-to-door. Right? But I asked about it, like, is this door-to-door sales? Like, when they give it to me during my orientation. And here we get to red flag number 2. I asked the fucking, like, big boss there, like the CEO in the office, and he said no. He said there will be no door-to-door. We'd be going to events to sell it. And I was like, really? Because this script you gave me sounds like a door-to-door script. He's like, no. Next day I come in. They're like, okay, we're just going to do one more training day. And then we're going to have you go and, you know, actually go out in the field tomorrow. And they started, and it's a fucking door-to-door! But not only is it door-to-door, I would be going alone in Orlando, which is a safety hazard. But also, looking at the script, and especially how they were coaching me to do it, I had multiple ethical concerns. One of which was the fact that they wanted me to go and look at people's cars, and they specifically said, don't give them the chance to say no. They basically wanted to knock on someone's door, be like, I'm gonna look at your car, and then just do it. In Orlando. Alone. And I was just like, oh fuck, oh fuck. I'm gonna get fucking shot or something. Or I'm gonna have the cops called on me. This does not sound good. This does not sound good. See? But then I looked at the script again. And this was my 5th. But they wanted me to lie about being a mechanic. Like being from a local mechanic shop. They're like, say you're from a local mechanic shop, blah 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 blah. This is not a local mechanic shop. This is a business in multiple states that doesn't even have its own shops. Okay? And I'm not affiliated with any local auto glass shops. And they wanted to make it sound like I was an employee at one. So they wanted me to lie about my job title to deceive people, basically. Which is unethical and wrong. And I didn't want to do that. But then, we got to the point where I was like the tipping point. This was the tipping point. This was when I was like, this is not just like a shitty job. This is going to get me in serious trouble if I actually do what they're asking me to do. They were giving me instructions on how to coach people to lie to their insurance companies. Because, the thing is, to get this, you have to have an actually, like, damaged enough windshield that it needs to be replaced. And it can't be from, like, an accident with another car. And they wanted me to coach people and lie to insurance companies about the extent of the damage, saying it was much worse than it was. But also to coach people to lie about when and how the damage happened. And I'm just saying, getting here, and I'm like, this is tax. It's not tax. This is insurance fraud. This is insurance fraud. And I quit. Like, right that I couldn't. I'm not going to be involved in something illegal. I'm not going to be involved in something that basically is set up to steal taxpayer money, because what they wanted was essentially they were committing insurance fraud, but they were doing it as a roundabout way to take money from a fund that was meant to help people who actually, need it. And I was like, this is fraud, and this is theft from, like, the people to essentially get money for this big national company. That's what it was. And I was like, I'm not going to be involved in this. So I quit. Because I'm just... You lied to me, you disrespect me. It was also low-key a cult. It was like very much that hustle grind culture thing where they were constantly yelling. And, oh my god, they kept yelling juice for some reason. Juice, all sorts of fucking gong. Oh my god, I can't even get into it because it doesn't even make sense, because it wasn't logical, normal human behavior, okay? But this put a bit of a fire under my ass, because I had already told people I got a job. And everyone was happy for me. They were like, yay, Bella got a job. But I then had to quit, and I told people I had to quit. And they were actually pretty supportive. I was kind of stressing out that I was going to get judged and, told that I made a bad decision. But, I wasn't going to jail for these people, especially because they were certainly not paying enough. But I was like, okay, fuck. But I was like, I really need to double down. Because everyone was like, okay, you quit, but you do need to get another job. And so the pressure was even higher than it already was to get another job. So, guess what she did? Did she learn from her lesson? Learn from her mistakes, Avoid sketchy companies? No, she didn't. No, she didn't. So, I'm applying to jobs, and it was the same old story. It was like a lot of the ones where if anyone has any leads about this, please tell me, because because they all say the same things during the interview. And then when I went to this new job, and I joined this job even though I had a bad feeling about it, because it was fundraising for the nonprofit sector, and it was like well-known charity. So I was like, I can't get involved in anything too unethical and illegal, raising money for charity. Foreshadowing. But, the exact same training, and they all mentioned some fucking founder from South Africa. And I don't know what the fuck this is, but there's some huge marketing firm pyramid scheme going on. And it has to do with some guy. There's some guy from South Africa, and there's another guy from Glasgow. And I have no fucking idea what the fuck is going on. I feel like a conspiracy theorist, but this is what's happening. Okay? But I was like, you know what? Okay. I hate it. Also, these are totally basically just the same people that fucked me over the first time, but with a different name. But, you know what? I need money. And what is going to happen to me, and guess what? Guess what? They were going and tabling, but they never got permits for anything. That's like the number one thing with any sort of events marketing is make sure your paperwork is in order. They were just like, oh, well, if anyone comes up and is like, why don't you have a permit? We just leave and go to a different location. And this is just how they operate, is they just get up and leave and go to different locations instead of just getting the proper paperwork. And I was like, you're going to get trespassed. Like, we had multiple instances of, like, people being like, if you don't move, like, we're going to get you for solicitation. And I was like, what the fuck? Management's job is to make sure that their employees are not put in this situation. So I was pissed off, honestly. And also, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to get in trouble. Like, one of these days, we're going to go to the... So I quit that one as well. And that was like... That was it. And so I've been looking for jobs again. And I've honestly kind of been out of it a bit because I feel like an idiot. And you know what's worse is I knew I was being stupid at the time, but I was so desperate that I just kept putting myself in these bad situations. And then, it got worse because it's hard to look for actual proper jobs in those situations. And I even realized that I was being stupid, but it was like one of those where I just felt so much pressure. And so that's what I've been doing. That's where I've been. That's basically up to the modern day. What's been the problem is just I'm an idiot who's desperate for a job, and I just kept getting myself into increasingly bad scenarios recently. And so I haven't been paying attention to anything other than just trying to get by, honestly, at this point. Thankfully, I had an interview for a company that is actually legitimate, and hopefully I'll get that job. But yeah, so that's where I've been. And that's what's been happening to me. And why I haven't been, like, on social media and shit recently. Because my life has been a dumpster fire. And hopefully it's no longer going to be a dumpster fire. I thought that was going to take longer to explain everything than it did. I mean, I took like an hour. But, yeah, so if you were wondering, where the fuck have I been? Who knows? I signed up to work on an indie dev team for a game. I'm not going to say anything about that too much. It's just started. I don't even know if it will become anything. Hopefully. Who knows? I'm also going to actually get working on Finish Those Requests soon, hopefully. I'm like a good way through finishing the first one. And, I ordered Jeff keychains, hoping to get those soon, hoping to actually, like, focus on selling my art again. And, I'm just trying my best. Oh! I forgot! I even said I also am working on getting my teaching English as a foreign language certificate. So that I can try applying for English teacher positions abroad, because I kind of want to leave this country. No, I want to leave this country. At least this state. It's been very hard to find a job, I think, in large part, because what I studied was international marketing and stuff. And right now, the world, especially the U.S., which is where I live, is becoming increasingly hostile towards international trade. And also, just all the problems that Florida has been having in terms of insurance companies and all that. We've been really up in the air. And that's actually been, like, kind of part of why finding a job has been so hard. Because, like, a lot of the usual employers in the hospitality industry and stuff in my state, I've tried applying to jobs to them, and they have almost nothing. And and a lot of the government jobs, like, associated with the space industry here, they're also not hiring. They have hiring freezes because they don't know what's going to happen with the government budgets and everything. So a lot of the local industries that I would have otherwise been able to get, that where I would normally be looking for jobs, they just don't have as many openings. and a lot of them aren't for entry level positions, and so I'm just kind of stuck in this position where I I don't know what to do and where to find work, and it's really frustrating because I studied hard. I had 2 internships and a student job that was related to my field. Um, and I can't even get like a basic entry level job. Um, and it's really, at this point, I've even tried applying for like part time work, not even in my field, and I can't get anything. And it's been very disheartening, and I'm not gonna lie, like it's kind of been dampening my motivation to work on any projects. Um, but I'm hoping to get back on top of things and actually like make art and all that and make videos. Sorry for such a long, rambly thing, rant. But I'm back. Maybe. Hopefully it sticks this time. I do actually like streaming. Sorry I didn't really end up doing much or drawing. Honestly, I kind of got involved in the storytelling, let's just say. But that's where I've been. It's just I am a 20-something who just keeps making big life mistakes, and it is what it is. And I hope that things start getting better soon. But for now, c'est la vie. I think I might actually end the stream now because I kind of want to get dinner, and also I think my cats want attention. So if anyone watches this, thanks for sticking around, and tell me if anybody else is having problems, in the job market. Like, feel free to like let it out in the comments, because I think everybody's going through it right now, and at least we can go through it together instead of alone. All right, bye. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace.